Hi everyone, Trish Cornelius here, and today going to chat a little bit about what makes a word, so the characteristics of a word and what it's made up of. So starting with the characteristics of a word, these concepts come from Professor Anne Curzon's Great Courses lecture series, which was filmed in 2012, and it is called The Secret Life of Words, English Words and Their Origin. It is also available on Audible as an audiobook. Now, a word generally has these characteristics. It has an agreed meaning. When people say the word, we all have an idea of what we are talking about. Secondly, it can stand on its own. We don't need to add extra sounds or syllables or things to it in order for it to make sense. Thirdly, it refers to a single thing. This doesn't mean that the word only applies to that thing or all things will be referred to by that word or that there are no synonyms. It simply means that when we say, for example, the word dinosaur, we all have one thing that we agree that it's referring to. Likewise, if I say furniture, it doesn't mean that I'm only referring to tables, because then I would say tables. But it does mean that I'm referring to all the concepts of things that are used to provide furnishings to a house. Then the next two criteria come down to how we write them and how we speak them. In writing, we don't write a word with white space in the middle. We have space before it and after it, but not inside of it. And in speech, we pronounce it as a single unit. So let's now look at the things that make up a word. So firstly, we need to have a little bit of a diversion and go back and look at the concept of a morpheme. So a morpheme is the smallest unit of a word that has a semantic or grammatical meaning. Semantics refers to what we think of when we talk about meaning. It is the content meaning of a word. Then grammatical meaning simply provides us with context as to whether we are referring to one thing or a group of things, what tense it is, and similar things. We'll go into a little bit of detail in a few more minutes. So the main categories of morphemes are the concept of a root word or a word stem, sometimes simply referred to as a root or a stem. And then we've got prefixes and suffixes. The reason that I have structured it as root word, prefix, suffix rather than prefix, root word, suffix is because a prefix and a suffix need to be attached to a root, but a root can be on its own. A word stem can be on its own. So a stem is a morpheme that has standalone semantic meaning. Prefixes are morphemes that are added to the start of words that change their meaning. In English, I can't readily think of any words that change the grammatical function when used as a prefix, but especially in the South African languages, so isiXhosa, isiZulu, isiNdebele, Tshivenda, Sesotho, Sepedi, and the like. When you have a prefix, sometimes that has grammatical meaning. It will show you what type of noun you're talking about and how many you're talking about. In English, most of that information is contained in a suffix. A suffix is a morpheme that is added to the end of a word in order to change its meaning or change its grammatical function or to provide additional grammatical information. So in terms of this, when we're saying a morpheme changes the grammatical function, we basically are saying it can change the part of speech. And in terms of providing additional grammatical information, it will either generally show a different tense or it will show number as well. Then we have morpheme. How do we use morphemes? They are used to create words. And you can either have a word that is comprised of a single morpheme. For example, the word child. It is only one morpheme. It cannot be broken up any smaller and still maintain either grammatical meaning or have a, it can't be broken up any smaller and still have semantic meaning or a grammatical function. Then we've got words that are comprised of multiple morphemes. And then we can even go and stack these words on and create additional words by combining the words that we made up of the different morphemes. So I hope this made a bit of sense, and as always, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Trish Cornelius out.